Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am Game Master Bloodworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today's video I'm making a return to taking a look at Amazing Adventures. So, Amazing Adventures is a Troll Lord game written by Jason Vey, and over a year ago, I had done the very first introductory look at Amazing Adventures. At the time, I bought a bundle on DriveThru RPG, which is actually still available to get the PDF bundle on DriveThru, and then I also picked up a physical copy of the book. Now, what brought me to back to this, because a lot of times when I cover a game system, as much as I might enjoy the game system, I am running and playing in so many different games, and I'm looking at so many different games that sometimes they get put on the shelf, and I like I said, very active, playing and going to conventions and doing all kinds of things, and so I just didn't get back to taking a look at Amazing Adventures in greater detail. So just either this morning or last night, I was having a conversation with my current castle keeper in the current Castles and Crusades game that I'm playing on Friday nights, and I was talking about looking to move on to something else, and looking to run a Sunday game. And so, he had mentioned, he says, well, why don't you run Gangbusters? It was a love for you to, run Gangbusters. I definitely jump in on that. And I have such a strong liking for the Siege engine, which is the core mechanic of Troll Lord games, Castles and Crusades, and Amazing Adventures. And I was like, you know what? Let me take a look at Amazing Adventures and see if I can adapt that, because it's a pulp era, so it's a siege engine game for the pulp era. And so I said, let me see how it would be easier, possibly to convert Gangbusters, either BX or Gangbusters, TSR Gangbusters, over into this system. And before I actually go through and start looking at that and doing that, I said, let me see what connections I can make, to the system before I dedicate that much time and effort into it. And so that brought me to wanting to take another closer look at at Amazing Adventures. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into the PDFs of both the companion, and then I will very briefly just show that there is a monster manual or a creatures manual for it as well. But let's go right into that. So here we are looking at, this is the core book. And I've done a video for this. I'm going to link it in the description. So I am going to go. So this is the Adventures Companion, right? So Amazing Adventures Companion by Troll Lord Games. And what this does here, I'm going to expand the view so you can see it as well. It gives you some, an introduction, ability scores. It goes back over the very core mechanics. It includes the original character classes. So you have your Arcanist, your Gadgeteer, your Gumshoe, your Hooligan, your Mentalist, your Pugilist, the Raider, and the Socialite. Then the new character classes, it introduces the Acrobat, the Archer, the Duelist, the Feral, the Gunslinger, the Pirate, the Soldier, and so on and so forth. It goes through a lot of different additions to this. So they go into the the core classes and then the companion classes, and you can see a further breakdown of those expanded firearms list. So, as I'm thinking about, a gangbusters, roaring 20s, 1920s prohibition era kind of game, that I'm looking to run it more from the perspective of an organized crime group. So the players would actually be members of organized crime and trying to build up their crime syndicates in the game system. Because I am also looking for kind of a non, not so savory campaign, or even an evil campaign, if you want to call it that. And so I was looking to change things up a little bit in my playing as well. And so, having modern firearms is something that I would certainly need to include in this. And we'll take a real quick look at this here. So we just have so the Astra, so these are pistols, and the Colt 1908, and and I like the fact that it does say that some of these are, what time period they're in. So the Colt Police Positive, a very popular police revolver made from 1907 through 47. So that would certainly be something that's in there. The Colt Detective Special. So we're just looking for things that would fall within the proper time period if I were doing that. And we will keep on moving forward, and then we go into you see now this here, the Makarov PM, I wouldn't be able to include because it's 1951, and so just kind of gleaning through this, looking for weapons of the time frame that I can actually put into the game as well. And you have, I mean, this is a pretty extensive list. All right, so this is a, pretty good coverage. You probably won't need much more than what they have here. They go into vehicles as well, so there's some new vehicles here. It will have the other ones as well. So these are aircraft of World War One, bombers, aircraft of World War II, which obviously would be outside of the time frame, and armored cars, automobiles, pulp era automobiles. So here we have this. Let's see if they give the dates. Yes, they do. So year notes. So that's going to be really important. So we will probably just go up to this 1910. 1929 is a little bit later than what I would look to do. 26 might be something that I'd put in there. Let's see what else we have here. 1948 is too late. And then we get to the 50s and 60s and so on. So you're getting into more modern day stuff. Now, the other thing you could do is if you wanted to do that kind of mafia crime drama kind of campaign, you can push it out of the pulp era and you can move it to, the 50s or the 60s or even the 70s or whatnot. Now you're kind of recreating, The Godfather or, other game systems. Now, ideally, it'd be great if, Troll Lord Games could put out something, using their system and expanding it into more and more different genres. So that would be really good too. And eventually, when I do have, some of the members of the Troll Lord teams on my channel, that's something that I will bring up is, what is their outlook for expanding into some different genres that they haven't already gone into. So maybe that'll be something that we can discuss. The other thing I wanted to go over is that, so there is a Amazing Adventures Manual of Monsters. And let me just make sure we're looking at the same thing. Yes, we are. And here you have like a pretty extensive bestiary that you can include. Now, again, This is going to be a lot of weird stuff and everything, but you'll have basic real life creatures in here as well. Um, and but you can throw in, some of these weirder things that you're going to have more in a pulp action kind of a game as well. So but as you can see it, there is still a lot out there for this game system, and I'm just going to switch views. So there's a lot there. It's mostly on Drive-Through RPG right now. When I've checked to see if they have physical copies, a lot of their physical copies are currently out of stock. So hopefully they're going to replenish that stock, in the not so distant future. They are really just full steam ahead with, with the Gary Gygax estate and putting out stuff for that. They have two or three Kickstarters currently running, or have completed, and they're just working on the fulfillment stages of those as well. I mean, they were super, super busy in 2023, just churning out so much stuff and getting so many different balls rolling at the same time that it's not surprising that when they benefited so greatly from the OGL scandal from Wizards of the Coast, that they were selling their stock of product like crazy. So I'm fairly certain that 2023 was a huge year for them as far as moving books, putting game systems, putting that siege engine into people's hands, probably for the first time, and so it's really growing in the hobby. I've seen at Gary Con, which was just this past week or weekend, and at Gary Con there was something like 80 plus sessions of Troll Lord Games running Castles and Crusades. I mean, that's huge. That's 80 game sessions. That's some almost 400 players. And countless hours that's running. Something like almost 300 hours of gameplay being put into it. So I mean, just amazing, amazing response that there was at GaryCon towards Troll Lord Games and their the game palettes. I didn't check to see how many sessions of Amazing Adventures there was going on over there, but there was certainly a lot of Castles and Crusades, which is awesome. So really looking forward to digging more into this. I've been remiss in spending almost a whole year not even digging into what I already have in my possession, and so over the next couple of weeks or so, I will continue covering Amazing Adventures. So it really is a great system, and it's pretty flexible. I mean, there's a lot that you can do with Amazing Adventures. That I have some modules and expansions for for deep space and space exploration. So I will be hitting on each of those things because I did pick up that bundle, and there was a lot of interesting things in that bundle as well. So really recommend you check it out. Hopefully, hopefully they'll get some physical copies in stock again, and come right back here to this channel to check out some more additional coverage after this video. So you'll have a great rest of your day. It's almost Friday, so enjoy your upcoming weekend. If you're celebrating the holiday over the holiday weekend, enjoy your holiday weekend. I know a lot of kids have no school tomorrow and probably Monday as well. It is actually my birthday on Easter Sunday, so I will be doing probably a live stream on on March 31st to talk about my gaming and talk about just another year in my life of gaming, and hopefully I'll have some friends, some of my current players come in on that live stream. I'll have to let them know that I'm doing a live stream Sunday evening, and we'll talk about the Castles and Crusades campaign that I've been running now, going into 15 weeks of it, and other things that I'm looking to do moving forward, through the remainder of 2024. So you'll have a great evening, great weekend, and thanks for stopping in. Take care.